further ado, for your first final of the evening at the Co-operative Funeralcare European Masters 2015, let's bring your players on. You've seen him the last 3 days. He is from Wales. He's been a Welsh international since the age of 14, and he's got through to the final here. Please welcome Jared Breen. And of course, also been here from the north and a former British Isles champion, it is Gary Smith. They played their trial ends. We'll go straight into the match, and I hand you over to commentary with Janice Gower.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the finals here of the Co-operative Funeralcare European Masters, hosted by Blackpool Newton Hall Holiday Park, and two really good finals lined up here. Of course, the players here are playing for a tour card, and that tour card entitles them to play in every one of the World Bowls Tour ranking tournaments for next season. So a big prize at stake for the winner of this game. And I'm delighted to be joined in the commentary box by one of our match officials, Francis Fletcher. Welcome to the com box, Francis.
Thanks very much. I'm looking forward to it.
A great opener there by Jared. Been an interesting game all round here. Both of these players have experienced the dizzy heights of the World Bowls Tour events. Gary Smith won the tour card here 2 years ago. Just struggled to make any impact when he got to the events. There's a few issues at home at the time, and we all know what happens when things like that are affecting us. So this time he's determined to win, and he's determined to make an impact on that top 16. Currently, he's just on the outskirts of it. He's ranked at number 20. And a bit of a deja vu piece of information for you, as I mentioned earlier. Last year, in exactly the same position, ranked at 20, we had playing there for a tour card, Mark Dawes from Blackpool Newton Hall. He got his tour card. He got to 2 quarter-finals, and he's now in the top 16. So can we have deja vu? Can Gary Smith repeat what happened last year for Mark Dawes? Meanwhile, Jared Breen qualified at a very tender age for the World Championships back in 2010. Made an impact there, got through a couple of rounds, so he's keen to get back to the World Bowls Tour as well. Good ball there from Gary.
Favourites just the one red.
Our match marker for this game is Dan Blewett. The umpire is Mike Davis. There's 3 match officials here this week, and the other one joins me in the commentary box. I believe you've marked for Gary in the past when he won a national title.
Yes, I marked the final in 2008 when he played fellow Durham skip, Glenn Skip.
One green.
Full of northeastern support at the time, and Gary managed to get home 21-12. When he last qualified in the tour card final, he did have a very tough draw in all 3 ranking events and got through to tie breaks, but unfortunately couldn't quite manage it. But he's come back well.
What's Jared, Gary? One shot, Jared Breen.
The opening end of this 9-end first set. The final here goes to Gerard Breen. Again, in the two finals here, we're playing the best of 9 end sets. 2 sets of 9 ends, and if we need it, tie break. Gerard Breen's had to scrape himself through 2 tie breaks in his quarter-final and semi-final here, whereas Gary Smith has won both his games in 2 straight sets. Will that make a difference to how this final pans
Jet
out?
length 26.5 metres.
All the players seeming to favour a shorter length here this week, Francis. We haven't had many going the full distance.
I think generally they're happy on the shorter lengths or full length, but nothing much in between. You don't get many 28, 29 metre jacks. So it's either mat back and short jack, or the mat up and the jack on the tee. But it seems to draw better on those lengths.
Of course, we're not playing on the portable rink here. We're playing on the bona fide rink 2 at Blackpool Newton Hall, which is slightly longer than the portable rink. By about, is it about 6 feet?
Maximum on the portable 7 metres, this is 31.5, so there's an appreciable difference. So when you're playing on the portable at Potters, full length isn't a huge distance, and it's a matter of control on the shorter lengths, really. It's probably going to see you through.
Well, I've nicknamed Gary the Machine the last couple of days. It's certainly his opening round game against Danny Dennison. It was an absolute masterclass in how to play a game of bowls.
2 green.
And we're opening up with some very good bowls in this final.
10 inches short of jack high. Your bowl in the centre? Yeah. The gap is 8 inches.
Big decisions here. When they do get to the ranking events, they'll have to play under the shot clock. And I think if that had been a shot clock situation, Francis, I think that might have timed out.
Yes, sometimes the players ask 2 or 3 questions to get a plan in their head, whereas with a shot clock, the tactics are different. You can follow your bowl up to the head and you still have the 30 seconds to play. So it's a balance, really, of information as opposed to trotting up and down the green all the time.
1 green.
As officials, we try and anticipate questions that are coming so we don't have to move in and out of the head.
Yes.
And that will always save time, especially under shot clock conditions.
Yes, we were saying earlier it's a really strong umpiring team we have at the WBT, and the players strongly rely on your opinions and judgments of who's holding shot and what distances bowls are away from the head. And most of us think that some of you are better judges than we are.
It always helps if a player knows what jack high is. Some are a little bit adrift in their understanding of that. We tend to use that as the reference point.
And that's front end of the jack to front end of the bowl, yeah?
That's correct, yes. So if a bowl is directly in line with a 5-inch gap, you can either say a 5-inch gap or it's 10 inches short of jack high. Depends what the question is, really.
And Gary's just dropping short again here. Our marker's indicated that he's only 1 shot down at the moment, so won't want to do any damage in there. For those of you that like to know what bowls the players are playing with, Gary Smith plays with Ensolite Tigers and Gerard Breen plays with Drake's Pride Professionals. Again, it'll come all the way back from there. Just might have overplayed it, but not in a bad place. Gary's clicking his fingers, normally indicates he thinks he's a tad over.
One shot, Jared Breen.
That means that Jared Breen takes a 2-0 lead after 2 ends in this first set. Very, very good heads of bowls, these. They're in the background of the 2 cut glass trophies. Winner of this game will pick up one of those, as well as the very valuable tour card.
Jack length 24.5 metres.
Again, a relatively short jack, and it just seems to draw better on certain marks on this rink.
Yeah, I think the rink changes slightly when the seating and the boards go down. I know Mark Dawes mentioned that last year, that it's 4 good hands anyway as the rink, but it just alters it slightly with the weight, let's say.
Gary's last ball, please. 3 inches short of jack high.
Jared's certainly set off well in this set.
Two green.
Game of age over experience as well. We're reckoning quick mathematical calculation. We think there's 30 years difference between these 2 players. I won't mention the ages, so one of them might not be too happy about that, but
it just goes to show that it's a game for all ages, even at the highest level.
yeah, and Roger Herridge, who played the other day, was 70. Quite proud that he was qualified here and just had his 70th birthday. I remember back in October, Super Bowl from Connor Sinato, only 18. Well, got a connection, opened it up. Usual for Gary Smith to be playing runners. Must feel he's in trouble early doors. Normally always says he likes to draw himself out of trouble. Can't just quite see where the jack's gone back to. I don't know whether that's back on the respot, Francis, or not. Can't just quite tell from this angle.
Well, I heard a crash, but that may have been Gary's bowl hitting the side advertising boards. Certainly on a wide line to clear the front bowls.
Most of the players practice the respot.
One shot, Gary Smith.
There we go. That shows you the jack actually wasn't back on the respot. It had just finished towards the back end of the rink. Gary Smith drew shot. After 3 ends, Jared Breen leads 2-1. Gary Gary Smith had always favoured the mat back and short jacks. But that's what Jared's just been playing, so it looks like he's gone a little bit longer there.
Jack length 27.5 metres.
Jared Breen beat John McCutcheson in a tie-break, which was really, really close encounter. And Gary Smith got past the crown greener Craig Newton in the first game on this morning. He's had quite a wait for this final as Gary.
And the carpet will have changed appreciably from this morning. It's quite warm out there now.
Notice as the days have gone on, the crowd have got very particular. They normally only give a good cheer if it's within a couple of inches. And this looks like it might be within a couple of inches. Looks on a good track again.
Difficult to tell from Jared's body language because the head tends to go down after most deliveries.
Whereas Gary's is a very steady textbook delivery. He's clicking his fingers again there, which normally means that he thinks he's slightly overweight, so that was a little bit fortunate.
The gap, shot bowl or jack length? The shot is the last ball just come in. The gap is 3 inches and it's a bowl short of jack high.
Oh, we're certainly testing Dan today out there. Many questions for him. He looks on a great line here. All he needs to do is get past that short bowl of Gary's.
Oh, brilliant.
Fantastic bowl from young man
One
from
green.
Wales. Gary's just looking at the angles here. I'm not sure whether the ball pops out of the head. If he gets the outside of the red bowl that's to the left of your screen, whether the green bowl might go out without touching the jack. But he'll have worked that one out and decided before he walks back to the mat. Same routine, picks up his bowl, steps onto the mat. Textbook delivery. It's very close here. He'll swing all the way back. Just missed it. By the look on Gary's face, you can tell that if it had popped out.
One shot, Jared Breen.
Yeah. Close the door on the additional shot there.
And so Jared picks up a 1 and takes a 3-1 lead after 4 ends.
All very tight as you would expect at this this stage of the competition. Two good players going head to head.
We've had some really good bowls played all 3 of the days. But when you get to the final, spoke to Steve Jelly from the Co-operative Funeralcare before the start of play, the sponsors. He was really looking forward to the games tonight.
Jack length 24 metres.
Gary Smith only took to the PBAs about 3 years back, always favoured the 21 up game, and then said he saw that the future in the game was probably the sets play, so it's taken his time to master the difference. He said he was a slow starter in 21 up games, so you can't afford that in sets play, especially at the qualifiers where we play sets of 7 ends.
It really is fast and furious in that case, and it all comes down to mental ability more than anything else. You've got to come out of the traps ready to race.
It's all about tactics going into the last few ends as well, Francis, knowing how many you need to pick up or how many you can't afford to drop. And
definitely, it's if you have a lead in a set halfway through, it's more a calculation of what you can afford to drop. So rather than open a head up, take a loss of one, move on.
He's holding 2 shots here. Gerard looks to just have drifted past with that one. Great line here again from Gary, trying to ease it down, clicking his fingers.
Two red and a measure.
Still got a chance to make the conversion though.
He's not afraid to go for his shots, Gerard. Certainly, a lot of these youngsters just play the shots as they see them. Every confidence. He's in the area with this. He's very close. Oh, great bowl there from Gerard. Might have even he's tipped it far enough for a
One
2.
green.
That's just a 1. Oh,
Change of
Gary.
handwork there, and perhaps Gary would change to the forehand
He's
in reply.
got his work cut out here. Needs to stop the rut, so to speak. Gerard's come out of the blocks very quickly. Good track again. What's his pace like? Just overplayed it.
One shot, Jared Breen.
Well, it's a set of 1s so far. Gerard Breen leads after 5 ends, 4-1.
Quite strange to not have a measure on the 5th end.
I was going to say, we've slipped past the 5th end. What's happened? It's been quite uncanny, really. The first day, no measures at all. And the second day, every game had a measure on the 5th end. And we started off that way today as well.
That's right. It's normally the 7th end is the crucial one. You make or break a set on that end, but
Jack length 27.5
surprisingly,
metres.
it's the 5th end that's provided the measures.
Gerard looks on a good track again here. This is all about pace. It's perfect line for these big swinging bowls of Gary Smith's. Just not finding it yet. Still room. I'll tracked it again well. Don't think he's here again.
1 green.
Well, very interesting start to this first final this evening. And don't forget, we're here for you live and in full HD on the World Bowls Tour YouTube streaming site. All our events now are covered on YouTube, so you don't have to miss a bowl being sent. Next tournament in the schedule at the moment is Super Bowl in October, which is again from this venue, where we meet the Crown versus the Flat. But for any more information on other events that might appear, as the WBT directors are working on newer events as we go along, keep your eye on the World Bowls Tour Facebook stream. All the information is always updated on there for you if you're looking to find out what's happening within the World Bowls Tour. Well, Gerard Breen's certainly playing a good end here.
Green.
Gary Smith can't afford to drop a 3, especially when he's 4-1 down.
Could be a decisive bowl coming down here. Needs to do something, otherwise the set is...
Well, great track. What's his pace like? Just failed.
3 shots, Jared Breen.
Well, I don't think any of the people at the side or the bookies out there would have bet after 6 ends in this final. Gary Smith would be facing a 7-1 deficit. That's the situation. Jared Breen's playing a really good game against Gary. We're now playing N7, which is normally the critical game in a
25.5
set.
metres.
Gary's 6 shots behind, 3 ends to play.
It's not an impossible ask, but it is quite big at this stage. He needs at least a couple on this end to be in with a shake.
So the young man from Wales isn't letting him get away with anything at all at the moment. Seeing his eyes on the prize. Well, Gary, you really need to try and draw one somewhere close now. Or this set will start slipping well and truly away. Nice picture there of the Kearsleys. Andrea Shallis to the right hand side of your screen there with the long blonde hair. We'll be doing the presentations on
2
behalf
red.
of the Partington Group this evening. Sat next to her, if we pan back in that direction, is Steve Jelly from the Co-operative Funeralcare, the title sponsors here.
2 red.
Door has just opened a little bit for Gary here.
Well, what's his weight like with this? Very good track. Needs to get in the area. Oh, that helped him.
3 red.
Well, last time Gary was holding a count, Jared came up with his last bowl and Took that away from him.
Needs a good weight on that line.
Yeah, I think this might hold off, as you mentioned. Well, Gary Smith.
Couple of feet to add a full count.
Very, very big opportunity here. Count of 4. You don't need to be a mathematician to work it out. Gets him back within 2 shots in this first set. Well, this has got a lot of work to do. I think it'll do just enough.
4 shots, Gary Smith.
Really big end for Gary there.
Well, that makes a huge difference. We're now looking at Gerard Breen on 7, Gary Smith on 5, 2 ends to play. The man from the northeast is only 2 behind. Gary, one of the most feared competitors on the English circuit. Won many titles, successfully skipped international rink for many years.
British Isles Force champion as well, not so long ago.
26 metres.
Certainly one of the players that seems to take the pressure very well. And he'll be hoping that might come into play against Gerard this evening. Well, this looks a good line, but it might just be dropping short again. Gary, you've been given a second chance to nail this. Because I'm sure if you don't, Gerard will be in there with his second bolt. See if Gerard can prove me right. He's not played many bad ends over the last 3 days. So this looks to be trundling a little bit.
1 red. Yes, 3.5 feet, almost 4.
Thing is, whenever you score a count of 4, it's imperative that you score at least 1 on the next end just to bring it home. No point scoring a 4 if you're going to drop a 2 or a 3 straight afterwards. So, great ball. That might force Gerard into a little runner.
3 inches short of Jack High. 2 red.
It looks like you say down the backhand, yet he's turning the ball in his hand. You can see the jack. Gary's ball didn't sit down in front of the jack. He's played some very good runners. Well, he's opened it up a bit. Good connection from Gerard there to open it up.
1 red and a measure.
Gary will be wanting to put something closer than this. Well, track looks okay. Well, there's still a bit of room there. It's a length ball, he can afford to play onto that to rest it.
Just needs a shot. If he doesn't score here, it's a loss.
Well. Yeah, definitely not happy with himself there. If this runs out, Dan indicated before it was 1, possibly 2. It could be a 3? We'll find out in a minute.
It's definitely 2 on the.
It's close. I would favour that, but it is close. Yeah. Umpire. 2 red, measure for third.
Umpire Mike Davis being called out to measure to decide whether Gary's red ball in the middle there.
So you'll notice the bowls weren't wedged in that case. Both of them are flat down. It is close by the look of it.
He always goes back to the first bowl that he measured.
2 shots, Gary Smith.
Well now, folks, from the 6th end, where Gary was looking at being 7-1 down, at the 8th end he's now 7-all. 1 end to play, almost like a tie-break end this one now. Doesn't matter how many's counted, just who wins the end. Whoever wins this end takes the first set in this final of the Co-operative Funeral Care European Masters 2015.
Jack length 25.5 metres.
Who's going to be first in?
Well, it's very much like I was saying, like a tie-break end. It's all to do with who wins it. It's a loose-ish opener for Gary Smith. Most of us would be happy with that sort of a bowl, but Gary won't. And that's why Gerard's found a really good bowl there.
Yes, 2 inches.
Well, Gerard's still holding on to
1
shot
green.
here. I don't know whether Gary might favour to just try and open it up, or is he just going to settle for a dead draw?
Can certainly be arriving. There's a 2-inch gap, so the jack should spring if he can just get into the area with it.
He's watching it intently. Just didn't swing back enough for him for where he wanted. Well, Gerard, that's told you what he's going to play, because he's committed to that with his last ball now.
Yes.
Both of Gary's back bowls have stayed on, so he's covering the spots on both sides.
At this stage, the players have got to ask to visit the head, because he'd only played 2 bowls. But at this stage of these important games, don't often get the marker saying no.
True, we use your experience to see if it's necessary, but certainly in a tie-break equivalent as this is now on the last end, I think it's fair to let the players come up.
Well, Gerard's gone deep. If Gary can just edge that bowl out. Can't afford any movement on the jack though, because Gerard's got the best back position. within the head there. It just touches a touch. It might go to Gerard's bowl, but I think it's his shot. Oh, Gary Smith, this to stay in this first set.
Hanging by.
Yep, just hung off.
One shot in the first set to Jared Breen.
Jared Breen wins the first set in this first tour card final. 8-7. Looked like he was going to lose it for a few ends there, having dominated the early part of the set. Now the only way Gary Smith can win this is to go into his first tie break of the event here. To do that, he has got to win this second set. But he finished off that first set very strongly.
So the slow start is out of the way for Gary. Let's just see if he can move on from this and force the tie break, or if Jared is going to match him.
Jack length 28.5 metres.
Slight change of tactic as Gary's stretched the length out on the first jack.
Well, this looks a better line. Oh, both playing two loose openers. Gary's had to really change the length to try and break Gerard's consistency up. That's a good ball, yeah.
One red.
Well, can Gary pile a few together here?
Close again.
Two red.
Well, can he do it again? Every time Gary's held a count, Gerard's managed to find a decent bowl apart from when he dropped the four. Looks in the area again here with this.
Three red.
Well, does Gerard go big at this? Few
Yep.
chances.
I think he'll have to, because his third bowl is stopping the backhand runner. He's certainly not shy of using weight when he needs to.
Any connection into that head, even if he gets his own bowl, as you mentioned, on the backhand side coming into the head, it might remove a couple of Gary's bowls. Anything into that area. Close. Got one away. Helps.
Two shots to Gary Smith.
Gary opens up the second set with a 2. It's 2-0 up after one end. Needs more of that though to keep himself in this game. As Gerard Breen won the first set 8-7.
Stretched it out again.
Jack length 29.5 metres.
Yeah, certainly one of the longest jacks we've seen. Does play with very swingy bowls, Gary. This means he'll have to find that line perfectly. Looks in the area. Good opener here. I was just having a quick scout down the crowd there. I can't see Gerard's mum and family there. I think that's his brother in the blue shirt, but several of them here to support him. Perhaps they don't look.
Families and supporters quite often are more nervous than the players when it comes to this, because they have no influence over the result, and it can be torture just watching. I'm sure they won't be far away.
Well, we have the feed on screens in the players' area. This looks an interesting line. What's his weight like? It's good to me.
Number 1.
1 green.
Gary not taking long on the decision on hand there. Thought he might have just asked what position that green ball was in. Because he could have still played it down the backhand.
Two inches short of jack high, your ball.
There we go, down
2 inches short of jack high.
answer ready if he'd have needed it.
And the gap between mine and Gary's.
Yours and Gary's 10 inches.
I think we might have just shot clocked there, time-wise.
Are there any plans to introduce the shot clock to the tour card?
I think there'd been talk of it for this year, but they've made a couple of changes here. Say it as a stepping block for the players. They're not going straight into the WBT events without having experienced having to play with green and red, and also the match officials being out there, and they set round
2 green.
to introduce the shot clock as well. Would take it up to virtually being what a full WBT ranking event is like for them.
It's also a valuable experience once they get to the 3 major ranking events to not have to worry about the shot clock as an additional thing to think about.
Looks on the high side to me here. Well, Gerard, chance for you.
Lays 2 already.
Yeah, the shot clock makes more work for you guys as well.
Keeps us on our toes.
Yes, I think it's an important thing that we have in playing with red and green bowls here. Players can play with whatever bowls they want at the qualifiers. And WBT have a pool of bowls that players can choose from, or they can have their own made.
2 shots, Jared Breen.
That ties the set up at 2-all after 2 ends. Yeah, some of the players out there, the likes of Gary Smith, have his own bowls. Gary prefers to play without a grip on his bowl. You don't find many bowls, certainly in the pool, that have a non-grip. So Gary, when he first qualified, made sure he got red and green that suited him.
Jack length 28.5 metres.
Strange enough, Jared has matched the distance on the jack as well.
Yeah, that's quite interesting that. I thought he'd have gone back to his shorter length.
Good start though.
Great opener. That's why, obviously. Fancied himself to draw in before Gary.
That's why he's out there and I'm in here.
Just said we've never played a bad bowl in 3 days in here, Francis.
All the best skips are on the bank, and those that can't skip tend to be umpires.
Oh, now I didn't say that. That's next to one of the World Bowls Tour umpiring team. I would never dare.
Although one of our colleagues is a top-class international player, Sandra McLeish. So she's been there, seen it, done it, and can umpire as well.
Yes, I actually played against Sandra's rink, international. Well, Gary, it looks on a good track. Don't know what the weight's like, just overplayed. It didn't want to be short though.
1 green and a measure. Yes, it's 8 inches short of jack high, with 5-inch gap.
Instant response there from Dan without the need to move into the head, and that's crucial when the shot clock's in operation.
It's the anticipation of the question, really, isn't it? You're having an idea what they're going to ask, having it prepared for them.
Yes, you'll occasionally see the umpire marking, just wandering in as the bowl's on the way, and he's just making a plan, anticipating what the question will be, ready answer, and it just saves time all around.
In the meantime, Gary just thumped his leg there. A little bit of a show of emotion from Gary Smith. Not happy. He's here again. Good bowls, Jared. Doesn't make the target any bigger for Gary.
No, and Gary's not got anything really close.
Again, he looks on a good track for it. I think it's all down to weight again.
Certainly stalking it. A little
Looks
bit
in
of
the area, this.
hesitation.
Looks in the area. A look of relief then from Gary Smith.
There's just no answer to a
1
last
shot,
bowl.
Gary Smith.
Gary takes the lead after 3 ends, 3-2 in this second set. Don't forget, folks, he lost the first set, so needs to win this to take us into a tie break. And Gerard will be looking for that not to happen. He'd quite happily tie this up in 2 sets.
Much shorter jack.
Jack length 25.5 metres.
I think he's quite disappointed with his opening bowls at these ends, Gary. They don't look bad to you or I, but Gary's quite critical of himself, likes to nail the jack every time if he can. Don't we all?
Well, they're in the picture, they're just not closing options down straight away.
Oh, shot ball
One green.
there.
I think at the moment Gary's responding to what's happening rather than dictating what's happening. Jared's certainly asking more questions.
It's very true. Gary's used to being the one in control. Just hasn't got that yet in this game. Even when he dragged his way back into the first set, it was more from a mistake by Jared. I was watching this. Nope, just slipped past.
Big chance for a 2 here.
Well, he's got the bowl of Gary's there to rest off as well, so it was nice when you see a bowl to rest off. Don't know whether he's quite making the trip here.
Gotta be careful.
2 shots, Jared Breen.
Yeah, well, he made the trip there for a count of 2. So Gerard Breen now takes a 4-3 lead after 4 ends of the second set of this final. And the winner of this gets on the tour cards, becomes tour card 1 in all the WBT draws for the ranking events next season. Big prize. Smile off Gary there.
Jack length 26 metres.
Just trying to settle himself down. It looks like it's getting fairly warm out there as well. That can sometimes be the pressure of play as well as the different lights. Great opener again by Jared.
N5, are we going to have a measure?
Oh, we didn't have one in the first set. Not at end 5 anyway. That might have made shot.
Sorry? Last bowl, 1 red.
The gap between that, using the jack.
7 inches.
It's closer yet. tighten the line down a little bit for Gary. Still possible to draw a bowl round that. Very close with this. Didn't want to touch on that jack though.
1 red.
Opportunity missed there by Jared. He had chances, turn a bowl up or rest. It's not finished badly though.
And I think for Gary, getting bowls in the head is something he needs to be doing. He doesn't like that at all.
Head went down.
Certainly not Mr. Composure at the moment. Sononi just overplayed that. As you mentioned, Jared's got 1 or 2 opportunities here. Promote his own bowl and get to shot bowl. He's opting to play it down the backhand by the looks of it.
Well, there's a catch there as well.
He's just gone for the draw. And obviously, from looking at the head, probably feels he can draw a shot off the wing bowl of Gary Smith's to the right of your screen. Very close. Oh, just probably that few inches heavy. Just held it off. Now, Gary, can you make another here?
Not easy, but not impossible either. But when you get a free bowl like this, you need to make it, even though the head is fairly tight.
Again, doesn't like it.
Very wide line.
One shot, Gary Smith.
Well, no measure at the 5th end, Francis, but after 5 ends, scores are tied at 4-all.
Well, I don't know what's happening with the world.
I was beginning to think we only needed to worry about getting the measures out when it was the 5th end. You didn't need to get them out of the umpire's kit before that.
Friday was a waste of a day getting kit out at all. But at least we were ready if needed.
Jack length 30 metres.
Well, I think that's the first time this week I've seen Gary Smith go to 30-metre jacks.
He's working hard to shake Jared off, but it's not quite working. I think you need to settle into a game first. But a good lead off coming.
Oh, he's been playing the wrong length all
There
day.
we go.
Well, this looks on a good track as well. Just failed on the last couple of feet.
Gary taking a much wider line, but it's coming back all the way.
This looks a very tight line. I think he was looking to put a touch of weight in there to get a glide off Gary's bowls.
2 red.
He's on the wide line again. We'll make it all the way back here. And that could be one of those
Three
good
red.
bad uns.
Exactly. Just
yeah.
frames it nicely now.
Gerard's got more of a target now to reach to that bolt. You heard the gasp from Gary when it stopped where it stopped. He's down a good track here. Well.
Shaved the jack on the way through.
So he actually
Three red.
touched the jack. That was very, very unlucky. Gary must have breathed a huge sigh of relief there. He's now got to try and stop that happening. Doesn't want to make the target any bigger, but has got to block that gap up. Force Gerard into playing a lot more weight, but there's always a chance then he might miss it. Oh, Gary, you need to swoop a little bit further now.
Not exactly done it. Big bowl this one now.
I think it's just a 3 at the moment. There is a channel down there. Could Gary Smith go from being 3 up to 2 down in one bolt? Probably looks a nice shot from the mat as well. And he's not frightened of playing these sort of shots.
No, Gary's last bowl just funnels it in a little bit better as well.
Well, depends on the result now. Oh, again, very unlucky.
I
It's
think
just a
Gary
bowl
will
under.
settle for that. Could have been a huge swing there.
2 shots, Gary Smith.
3 down to 3 up.
Oh, Gary Smith takes the lead again in the second set. 6-4 up after 6 ends. We normally say the 7th end is crucial. In this case, it's looking that way.
Does he go long again?
Well, he seems to have committed to trying that now. Gerard's just played a couple of runners that haven't quite got the
Jack
right
length
connection
29 metres.
on a shorter length jack. The runners can be that little bit more accurate, not as far to go to move. Don't forget, Gerard only has to tie this second set.
Great start.
Gary has to win it. And that's more like the Gary Smith we're used to.
7 inches gap.
Good reply, great reply there from Gerard.
Could just give Gary a guide in.
Gary doesn't use that guide in, Gerard's likely to. Just overplayed it, good home.
One red.
He didn't take that opportunity, so it's still there for Gary. 2 feet off his last bolt.
He's certainly stalking this one.
I don't know whether he's here or not. Gerard just overplayed this as well. Nothing changed really since the first two deliveries have come down the rink. Opportunity here now. I mean, it's in the head. Even if he gets a slight touch on the jack, tuck it behind, that would be good. Might open it up for Gerard to see it off the backhand. I think it's worth taking the risk. Forehand draw, use Gerard's side bolt. Rest off it. His line's been perfect with all his deliveries, just his weight.
He's on a track.
Well, what's his weight like?
Not quite home.
Not happy with that at all. That was an opportunity. I know Gerard's looking at this, but still see it as the draw off his own bowl.
Can't really attack it in case he loses the second bowl.
Well, I don't know whether that's what he was perhaps looking at. He was certainly looking at the angle of that red bowl onto the jack. But still a very, very open draw down there.
Every chance off the wing bowl.
Looks on a good track. Again, this is all on pace. It looks on a great track here. Very, very close here. Very, very close. Well,
Great
that's a
bowl.
great bowl from Gerard there. He's looking disappointed. I think he was hoping
One
to
shot,
touch the
Gerard
jack
Brink.
there. He's looking disappointed in that. I think he was looking to tuck the jack for perhaps a count of two. He's being greedy. He takes a 1, and that means after 7 ends, Gary Smith is 6-5. Only 1 up. We have 2 ends left to play. Gary really can't afford to drop either of these ends.
Jack length 26.5 metres.
If Gerard wins this end, it puts him into the driving seat. And that's not a bad opener.
No, fair start that. Anything that covers the jack makes life difficult.
I really do feel that Gary Smith needs to win this end to give himself a chance of winning the set. Look of concentration there on Gary Smith's face. This looks a
Close.
far better bowl.
1 red.
Last bowl in relation to Jack here.
Almost an inch short of jack high.
In that case, you just reach the bowl, sit it down, you should be close.
Well, he's got 2 seconds in there as well, so any connection's going to help. Looks to be under to me, this. Right sort of pace for what he was looking for. Well, Gary. Can you put another one in there?
2 red.
Now then.
Well, it might force Jared to go a little bit quicker. But if he misses... This is quite a big bowl, really, for Gerard Breen. Certainly as far as this set lays. At the moment, Gary Smith holding 2 shots. And after this, we only have one end left to play. Positive bowl coming. He looks on a track as well.
It's fading.
Yeah, we've seen quite a few of those this week where they've just started to go very quick when they have started to go.
2 red.
Well, Gary holds 2. Bowl left to come. He'll happily settle for the 2, I would think. It would give him a 3-shot lead playing the last end. And then I think those spectators that like a little bit of a punt would say we were going into a tie break.
I think so. 3 up with an end to play. If you drop 4, that's a disaster, really.
He didn't like that, but like I say, I don't know whether the situation is such that 2 would do the job, really.
Played a safe draw. I think 2 should be enough.
2 shots, Gary Smith.
That gives Gary Smith, after 8 ends, an 8-5 lead in the second set. He lost the first set, 8-7 to Gerard Breen. Gerard's got to score a 4 on this end. Well, a 3 would do him, actually, because he could tie the set. Whereas Gary needs to win it, and we go into a tie break.
First bowl is crucial here.
I think we're opting for the longer length jack again.
Looks like.
Jack length 29 metres.
Well, he looks like he likes that. He's not grimaced at it yet. And that's why.
There we go.
Is the machine back? Joe's close here. He's very close.
Great reply.
Well, Gary. Remember, Gary's just trying to stop a count
1
of
green.
3. He can afford to drop a 1. He can't afford to drop a 3. Oh, Gary, again, on a very good line.
Close. Very close.
Oh, that's a good bowl.
2 red.
Jared can reach to that, took the jack through. He's still got to try and make a 3 out of it.
I don't think the jack in the ditch is going to help a lot.
He's played that sort of weight. Is that 1 or 2, Dan? We need to know.
1 green.
If that had been 2 green, that would have been a really spectacular turnaround of a game, or of an end. Whereas 1 green, Gary's quite rightly coming to have a look at this.
Well, his second bowl is vulnerable.
He might just opt to draw down the backhand here, promote his own toucher bowl there through a little bit. Really needs to get probably another second in the head, or a third.
Shaping for the backhand.
Oh, it is good when you call a shot right.
As I said, all the best skips are on the bank.
Yeah, that's what he'd been looking for in the area as well.
Great effort.
Great bowl there. Gives him 2 seconds. Now, Jared, how do you get a 3 out of this? I don't think Gary's middle bowl, which will be in 3rd position at the moment, will see cleanly through to take the other red bowl off, because I think it'd get a piece of the green as it goes through. That's what he's looking at. I think that's his only try, really. He's got to remove both of those red bowls and stop and count.
Is there a plan in place?
Well, while there's a bowl, it's always possible.
Control.
I think he's under.
One shot to Jared Breen, second set to Gary Smith, match tiebreak.
So, Gary Smith wins the second set 8-6. Jared Breen won the first set 8-7. We're going to a match tiebreak.
Gary won the toss, has given the jack to Jared in the first end.
And the situation, guys, here again is it's purely on who wins the end. Doesn't matter how many shots they count. The first of these 2 players to win 2 ends of bowls now wins the title. The Co-operative Funeral Care European Masters Tour Card 1.
Jack length 24 metres.
Jared's opted for the shorter jack first up.
I didn't know whether Gary would opt to take the jack there, as he's been dominating on the longer length, but then he does prefer to have the last bowl. And Jared didn't exactly nail it with his first. And Jared's played 2 tie breaks this week. This is the first tie break Gary's had to face. This looks better. Just running through again, I thought that looked better for pace.
I did as well. If anything, a little heavier than the first one.
It's normally a good sign when one of you markers starts walking towards the head as well. You think, well, perhaps they think it's going to be a touching bowl.
I think it's more of a touch of cramp.
Probably at this stage after 3 long days. Gary didn't
One red.
like that, turned his back on that.
Marking is an extremely enjoyable experience, but if you actually stand still for all 8 bowls, it takes its toll on your legs eventually. Little wander here and there never goes amiss.
Gerard had an opportunity there. Just shows you these tie-break ends. Well, Gary, can you close this down? Can you nail it? very close to sitting Gerard's ball in there. One ball from each player left to come. This looks better. It's going under. Well, has Gary Smith got away with this? First ball.
1 red.
I think Gary would check on that before declaring.
First end, Gary Smith.
Well,
Okay, Jared's happy with that.
yeah, it sounds like Gerard actually gave that, so I think if I'd have been Gary, I think I'd have been walking up to double check that. First blood, first end, Gary Smith. Gerard's got to win the next end to stay in this. If Gary Smith wins it, he gets his dream of his tour card.
What's the betting on a longer jack?
Well, he's certainly, in the end of the second set, nailed it. Yet Matt's further back. I think we'll be looking at 29 metres here, in that area somewhere. Gary will certainly not want to go into the third end of a tie break.
Jack let 29 metres.
You read the script.
Do like it when a plan comes together and we call them right in here. I can't say we've done it right all week, I must admit. Well, I think there's something wrong with this, Gary.
Yard.
You've got a second chance. Gerard's got a perfect line with that, but just slipped through. Always more comfortable for the man that's got the first end. You feel like you can play shots here to try and win it on the second. This is just going to run over. And this is well under. This isn't making the trip at all.
2 red.
Well, this is where nerves come into play as well, Francis.
What price a back toucher now?
Well, if you were ever going to ask a man to play a back toucher for you, on past reputation, it's the man out there in red. He'll run a touch.
3 red.
Better but beatable.
Again, I thought that looked very good from his hand.
He didn't seem concerned with it. I think he was looking to get close as well.
Well, Gerard's following this, keen on this one. Shot ball coming in, methinks.
Yes.
1 green.
Gary not even coming to have a look. He just knows an adjustment on his last delivery.
He's not sure about it.
He's on a cracking line. I'll tell you what, this is all on his pace. He's overplayed it.
Second end to Jared Breen.
Going to the third end of the tie break. This is when nerves really start to come into play. It's also the only time in the game under WBT rules that a player can kill the end. And they have to nominate to do that, don't they, Francis, before they can kill?
Yes, and they can only kill it once. So if the end's replayed, they've used their joker and that's it.
Nice little gesture there between the two players. Well, this is it. It all comes down to one end of bowls for who takes this Tour Card 1 title and a place in all the WBT ranking events next season. The hours of play at the qualifier to get here and the 3 days of play here all comes down to one end of bowls.
Jack length 29.5 metres.
Interesting choice of jack length from Jared there.
That does surprise me.
He's certainly mixed it up a bit in this game.
Great if it works.
Well, nail it with your first, that's what you're looking for. He's concentrating on it. I think he likes it.
And he should do.
It's a great opening bowl at the last end of a tie break.
Oh, back
Well,
toucher.
couldn't ask for any better than that. Oh, Gary Smith. This young man's certainly not taking the game out to Gary. He's certainly fought all his way and not let Gary dominate.
The gap is between shotgun and jack.
3 inches.
Well, now, does he leave this alone? What a good bowling. You often make your opponent play. Yeah, he's gone wide here. Well, Gary's got two choices here. Either tries to clip the bowl out or draw it. Draw would be a killing bowl. Clip the bowl out. There's still a few inches room there. Track looks good.
Close.
Right,
Just
it's
under.
just gone under.
On green.
I think Jared's got to try and get another one in there somewhere. Even if it's a good third bowl. Don't know whether he's so keen on that or not, but as you mentioned before, it's a little bit hard to tell with Jared's body language sometimes.
It is. He needs to cover, but he needs another bowl in there. I think that's third, is it?
Yeah, that's a good bowl. Takes Gary really back to just trying to draw this off. Well, what's his weight like?
It's good. This is good.
Well, what a bowl.
On red.
That's an unbelievable bowl there from Gary.
It's just moved it out enough
Jared,
to frame
nominate to
it.
kill.
There we go. Jared's nominated to kill this end. That means if the jack goes out of the side confines of the rink, it does not go on the respot. The end's replayed. If he misses, Gary Smith's the tour card winner. Looks under to me.
You've gone.
Looks under to me.
Third end of the match, Gary Smith.
There we go. Gary Smith is our first tour card winner here. Thanks for your company in the commentary box for this game, Francis. I know you've got a job to go out there and do now.
Yes, time to get changed and back on the rink.
Once more, ladies and gentlemen, just show your appreciation to both players. They've given you a fabulous match. Well, ladies and gentlemen, your first final, and can I just introduce your presentation party for this evening's presentation? It is Steve Jelly, Regional Manager of the Co-operative Funeralcare, and Andrea Chalice, Director of the Partington Group. Well, I think, ladies and gentlemen, we've seen an absolutely cracking match, two brilliant players, and unfortunately, every match and every final has to have a runner-up. Please welcome, from Wales, Jared Breen. Jared, if you'd like to go and collect your... And just come and stand beside me, Jared. And ladies and gentlemen, your Co-operative Funeral Care European Masters finalist number 1, it is Graham Smith. Gary Smith. Sorry, mate. Just come over here for a minute, please, young man. Gary, I do apologise. And yourself.
I don't care what you call us, mate, to be honest.
Gentlemen, you've given us an absolutely cracking final. And I've got to say, Jared, you played so well. And I know inside you must be gutted. But please believe me that, you know, your efforts out there were brilliant. And I think for such a young man to come through to a final like this, playing against the players you've had to play, you've done yourself and Wales proud. And I'm just going to ask you one question. Are you going to come again?
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you very much. And Gary, you've tried and tried, and now you've made it. So you're into the WBT TV ranking events for all of next season.
How do I feel?
How do you feel, mate?
Fantastic, mate. Thanks very much. Absolutely brilliant. Jared, class. Absolutely class. And he's got loads of time. And he's a tremendous player.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. Gary, you're going to be wanted to take some photographs. Can I just say thank you to you both? And we will just get the players on for their trial ends, ready for the next final, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, well done, Janice. You can go back to your commentary box now. former WIBC champion. He's been playing here for the last 3 days. Let's give him a warm welcome, Stephen Allen. And up against Stephen, this gentleman is also from Swansea with several Welsh national titles, and he's just outside the world's top 16 looking to get back in. Please welcome Robert Chisholm. They've played their trial in, so we'll go straight into the match. And I hand you over to Janice Gower in commentary.
Well, for the final time this week, folks, welcome to Newton Hall and the Co-operative Funeralcare European Masters Finals, and this, our second tour card final. We've just seen a humdinger of a final, went right down to the last bowls at the last end of the tie-break. And Gary Smith's taken tour card 1. Who will take
27.5
tour card
metres.
2? Will it be Scotland or Wales? Will it be Steve Allen or Rob Chisholm? Well, Steve Allen's opened up there. How he finished off his semi-final game. He beat Brett Arkley, who was possibly one of the favourites coming into this event. And Rob Chisholm's had to go to the tie-break in both his games to get to this stage. I spoke to him earlier and I said, how many get-out-of-jail cards are you going to use this weekend? And he said, well, I'd just like a third one, please, for the final. But I think Steve Allen will have something to say about that. He's been playing very, very consistently all weekend, and he started off again here very well. Rob looks close here in the area. Toucher, just not quite made it.
1 red.
Our marker out then for this final
No, it's 3 inches short.
is Mike Davis, and the umpire who hot-footed it out of the commentary box from the last game is Francis Fletcher. Well, again, early doors for those of you that like to know what these players are playing with. Rob Chisholm plays with Henselite Classic 2s, and Steve Allen plays with Taylor Ace. Both current internationals for their countries. Robert Chisholm, though he speaks with a broad northeastern accent, moved to Wales to be with his partner Hannah, and he now skips for his adopted country, Wales. Well, he got the connection. I don't know whether he's got the result he wanted. Looks like it could even be 2.
2 shots, Robert Chisholm.
Yeah, great start there. Steve Allen had been the best drawing bowler at the end, but Robert Chisholm converted there and picked up a 2. Now we saw the interesting situation in the first final today of
Jack length 27.5 metres.
choice of length to play. Gary Smith had all weekend been playing a shorter length. Jared Breen was far more consistent on that length. Gary Smith was forced into playing a lot longer Jack to get the tour card that he so much wanted. And these two guys are after the similar prize, a tour card, into the ranking events of the WBT.
John Richard know that the strobe lights are off. They're flashing, they're off altogether now. Thanks very much.
Just heard Francis mention a problem there with the lighting. Might just put Rob off a little bit there. Yes, back to what I was saying, the prize for the winner of this game is a tour card into all of the ranking events for the next WBT season, and that's a huge prize for whichever one of them wins it. Robert Chisholm currently is just outside the top 16. The tour card to him, if he could scrape a few games together once he got to the events, which he's more than capable of doing, having won the Welsh International Open back in 2009. He's capable of going on and winning a tournament, which would get him a chance of getting into the top 16. So huge game for Rob here. And Steve Allen, very, very competitive, qualified for the World Singles back in 2014. He's won the World Indoor Bowls Council Championship back in 2012. And he fancies a pop at getting into this top 16 as well. Been very consistent over the weekend. Very close here.
1 green.
Well, it's only 1 down at the moment, and there's still a possibility of the draw. He was very close with his last delivery. I think he's just got short with this.
1 shot, Robert Chisholm.
So Robert takes a 3-0 lead after 2 ends of this first set of this Tour Card 2 final here at Blackpool Newton Hall.
Half metres.
Well, Steve Allen's got a lot of his family here in the crowd. His partner is here as well. So it's nice as a player if you've got support out there. And both these players have their partners in the crowd. Robert Chisholm certainly settled down in this first set. He struggled in the first set of the semi-final, where he played Philip last, but then won the second set and won the tie-break 2-0. Steve Allen beat Brett Harkley.
1 red.
He won the first set and managed to tie the second set.
What's the gap between Rob's closest and my shot ball?
3 inches.
Does my ball touch the jack?
Yes.
Well, Steve Allen's got a little bit of danger here. Doesn't want to chip onto his bowl. Open it up. Well, his concentration on his face says he must be close. Yep. Well, that's
2 red.
gives Rob Chisholm a little bit of a shoulder now. Up to play down the backhand there. Trail the jack, could get a 3 out of it. And that's what he's playing. Looks on a tight line to me. I think he's just going to go under. Oh, Steve Allen, you've got a big chance now of getting your 3 back. I think he's trying to decide which is the safer hand to play it off. The way he looked at the head there, I think he's looking down the forehand. At least if he then catches his own bowl, he's only chipping it out to the bowl to the right hand side of your screen. Like I mentioned earlier in commentary, delivery very, very similar to one Alex Marshall MBE. Didn't like that delivery when it left his hand.
2 shots, Stephen Allen.
It gets him on the card. 2 shots to Stephen Allen. Robert Chisholm leads in this first set after 3 ends, 3-2.
Jack length 29 metres.
Great opener there from Steve Allen. I can say he's been one of the most consistent players all weekend. Robert Chisholm's in a determined mood, desperately wants this tour card. Looks down a good track here, might have just overplayed it. Well, Rob turned his back on that bowl pretty quickly. Yeah, I think he's underplayed it.
1 red.
Only 1 year of age separates these two guys. Well, they'll probably have come across each other a few times in the under 25s over the years. Robert Chisholm names his favourite green as Stanley. And Steve Allen Falkirk. Both favouring faster rinks as the favourite greens. Actually, Steve
Oh,
Allen's
still 1 red.
home club is Alloa, and Robert Chisholm's home club is now Swansea. I know we've got many Scottish people supporting. Had great feedback on Facebook and the internet for those shouting Steve home.
2 seconds. Those are 2 in the front.
Rob just asking Mike Davis if he's 2 seconds there, he might go for the bowl here, because if he gets the jack, he's got the best back bowl as well. A couple of options down there. He's just played it with controlled weight. It looks in the area. Very close here. Oh. Well, I think he's got the result. I think it's 2.
2 shots, Robert Chisholm.
Gives Robert Chisholm a 5-2 lead after 4 ends of this first set of this final.
Jack length 27.5 metres.
He's telling it to bend, bend, bend. I think it's just hanging off for him there. Quite like the fact with Steve Allen, he mentioned it in his first practice session that he was quite happy for me to say when he won Falkirk. I actually was the one to tie with him that day. We drew our game. He went on to win the qualifier.
One red.
And one thing I did notice that day, very, very consistent. Of course, Rob Chisholm on the PBA circuit for some years. He won the tour card himself back in 2012 when the host club then was Stanley. And he made the most of it because he got to the quarterfinals of the Scottish Open that year, which has given him the ranking position of 24 at the moment. And as we're proving at the moment, it's always possible to get into that top 16. People used to say it was virtually impossible. And for next year's WBT events, we have two different names in the top 16. Les Gillett, who dropped out the top 16 and has battled his way back in. And the home club here's own Mark Dawes, who came and won a tour card here last year. Went on to be very successful in two of the tournaments and got himself into the top 16. So it's possible, and it's possible via this route. If you're a member of the PBA, it's worth entering the tour cards next year. You get 3 games guaranteed when you play in a round robin. And then you go to a semi-final and final. And the winners get to come here at the tour card finals. Try and win a tour card. I mentioned earlier, if anybody's interested in following what's happening with the WBT, it's well worth logging onto their Facebook page. They keep that
One
up
shot,
to date.
Stephen Allen.
Any new events on the horizon? The next event on the WBT calendar is actually the Super Bowl event back here at Blackpool Newton Hall in October. But for any future information and news and the tournaments that the directors are working on, just follow it on the World Bowls Tour Facebook page.
Jack length 31 metres.
Well, it's a tight game at the moment, folks. 2 shots in it. We're into N6. 2 loose openers. Not sure what happened there, but I think he must have got a little bit of an edge to help him out. He didn't apologise. Players of this level, if you do be a bit fortunate with the result, always acknowledge that to your opponent. Looks better here.
On green.
Well, he looks down a good track. Just don't think he's got the pace. 3 short bowls, Steve. He won't be happy with those. A count here off Rob. We'll get him away in this set. He doesn't like that one. The Iceman showing a little bit of emotion there. Oh, he didn't like this bowl. Definitely didn't like that.
2 green.
I wonder if he's seen where it's actually finished. Well, that does give Steve a decent target to just rest off. Track looks good. Length required here. Is he here? Mark and Mike waiting till that ball sat.
It's close, Rob. Probably just slightly favour yours.
Rob's still got the draw down. The forehand here. He's on a wide line. I don't think his Henselite Classic 2s will quite do all the trip there for him. It is trying for him.
One green. Yeah. One shot, Robert Chisholm.
One shot to Robert Chisholm gives him a 6-3 lead after 6 ends. We're into the crucial end of a 9-end set, the 7th end. Here at the Co-operative Funeralcare European Masters Finals, hosted by Blackpool Newton Hall.
Jack length 27.5 metres.
Rob preferring this 27.5 metre jack. Steve Allen will be wanting to get this jack back and shorten it back down again. Good opening ball here from Rob. Certainly got out of the blocks early in this first set. His previous 2 games he's struggled early on. Certainly come out fighting here in the final. Steve Allen's looking at this. It's following it down very well. Very good reply.
One green.
Good positioning there really from Rob. Steve will be looking to, needs a count really on this end. I've just overplayed it, I think, down this forehand. But he's got it surrounded.
Is there a gap between Rob's short ball and my closest?
It's just over 1/4 inch.
Steve's playing a runner at this, trying to open it up. It holds on now, it's in the area. Well, that could have gone better for him, but it has opened it up. He was looking for his
2 green.
running ball to actually stay with the jack.
Thirds against, please, Mike.
2.
Just one down on that spot there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Rob's just underplayed this. Nice bit of room there for Steve Allen to draw a shot.
Yes.
Is he short? Is he here? Short and tight. I think he might have dropped to 3 here. This could be first set virtually over with for Steve Allen.
3 shots, Robert Chisholm.
Jack length 29.5 metres.
Well, I've gone to a longer length Jack. Looks to be nailing it with the first ball here. It's a 9-3 lead for Rob Chisholm in this first set after 7 ends. One is absolutely no good to Steve Allen here. He needs 2 to have any chance of even tying this first set.
How many seconds against, please, Mike?
Oh, just the 1.
Yeah, Rob just checking how many seconds Steve Allen had there, knowing that he needs to get a count. He was looking to see if Steve managed to remove his shot bolt, whether he could pick up a count from it. Oh, that's a good bowl from Rob Chisholm. It puts another one in the area, not too close. Well, Steve Allen's got the trail on the Jack for 2 here. Very good effort.
3 seconds against, yeah.
No, 2 seconds against.
2 seconds against would do, Steve, if he could find the way through to that shot bolt. Rob will just be looking to... Yeah, he's coming up to have a look. I think he just needs to know which hand to play this off to get the best position of another bowl in the head. Popped it on the forehand. Not happy with that because he's just dropped it short. Not really made any difference to Steve Allen's shot. I think he might just be on the high side with this. Good effort though.
1 shot and the first set to Robert Chisholm.
So Rob Chisholm wins the first set here in the second final of the evening for Tour Card 2 here at the European Masters. Here's the first set, 10-3, and we move into the second set. I think we'll find a change in length here from Steve Allen. Rob Chisholm's been favouring between 27 and 29 metres.
Jack length 25 metres.
There we go. Steve Allen set a 25 metre jack. Clean slate second set. Rob Chisholm's got the first set on the board. In the background there, the Partington family and Steve Jelly from the Co-operative Funeralcare and his good lady wife Maureen there. Maureen with the glass in her hand and the blue top on. That looks like a good look to me. I'm sure there'll be a few people attending the bar after this final finishes. Mike just been asked his opinion here on the position of which ball's third ball, I think. This is going back to the question I think he was asked earlier.
It's just the one.
He's looking in the area for this. Very close to it. Well, clip it out clean or touch the jack through.
One shot, Robert Chisholm.
A great result there, Rob Chisholm. Picks up a 1 at the first end of the second set, having won the first set 10-3.
Jack length 29.5 metres.
You see in the green shirt, our first tour card winner, Gary Smith. Back out in the audience to watch this second tour card final. See who will be joining him on the circuit
One
next
green.
year. Well, Steve's on a good track here. It might just fail in the last few inches. Close again here from Rob Chisholm. Certainly playing a very good game in this final tonight.
2 green.
What's the gap with the shot ball and the jack?
5 inches.
Battled his way through his 2 prior games, did Rob Chisholm. He seems to have come out all guns blazing tonight.
Three green.
Well, I think Steve will be looking to arrive into this. Preferably his middle red bolt, the one that looks the shortest on the screen, sheer through into the head. It's a split. There's a couple of chances down there. We might see a bit of weight here from the man that plays at Alloa. He's in the area for it. All on the result now. Oh, that was the worst result he could get.
Three shots, Robert Chisholm.
Any other angle on that red bolt, and he'd have been into that head. So Rob powers into a 4-0 lead at the second end of this second set.
Jack length 27 metres.
Gone back to his favoured 27-metre jack.
One red.
What short's the shot ball, please, mate?
The gap is 7 inches and it's 9 inches short of jack high. Yes.
Quite rightly too, he's coming to have a look at this. He's holding one shot at the moment. But Rob Chisholm has got 2 bowls that are just short coming into the head. Needs to decide which hand he's playing it. I think having looked at the head, he'll decide to stick with his backhand. The forehand looks very dangerous to turn Rob Chisholm's bowl in. Rob's got a chance of a shot here. It looks to just be covering any sort of big account from Steve Allen. I thought Rob might have played down to punch the red bowl through and hold to himself. It's a chance for Steve Allen here, but it's a risky chance because if he gets tight, he could turn Rob's bowl into the head. He's playing it. Always plays bowls with confidence. Will be banking himself to get this. He looks on a very good line for it. Well, this could be close. Very unlucky.
One shot, Stephen Allen.
Well, Steve Allen gets on the board in this second set. Count to 1. Rob Chisholm currently leads it 4-1 after 3 ends. Back to his 25-metre jack, I think.
Jack length 24.5 metres.
Well, it was half a metre out, but he's been favouring this sort of length all of the weekend and playing it very well. Well, Steve will be disappointed with the first two deliveries from himself at this end. Doesn't want Rob Chisholm to get too far away from him. In the area, might just be unlucky again.
2 green.
He does set up him a shot with his last bolt down the backhand. Well, Gary Smith there sat with his opponent from the final he had earlier this evening, Gerard Breen. That's good to see. And Gerard would be disappointed to lose that game. He definitely seemed to have the edge
3
on
green.
Gary Smith, but Gary Smith stuck in. Meanwhile, in the second final, Steve Allen is facing a 4-1 deficit in the set and 3 bowls against him in this end, with 1 delivery left to come. He's playing a bit of a trundling shot and it might just go tight. He's got to get something out of this, really.
3 green.
A lot of room here for Rob Chisholm to score a 4.
Four shots, Robert Chisholm.
Well, those 4 shots to Rob Chisholm gives him an 8-1 lead after 4 ends in this second set. He won the first set 10-3. This is slipping away from Steve Allen at the moment. Rob Chisholm's playing really well this evening.
Jack length 25.5 metres.
For a couple of years away from the PBAs and qualifying for events, could this be the Iceman back in contention? He did say to me that as he's got older, he's not quite the Iceman he was. And a lot of players call him Chiz.
short Steve's first ball, please, Mike?
2.5 feet. One green.
Oh, you got a result with that one.
One red.
Played several conversion shots that haven't
Just
come off for
one
him.
red.
We're just having a good glance at the score there, seeing what he has to do. 7 behind. There's 5 ends left to play. Big chance of counting a 2 here. Probably doesn't want to be greedy and look for a 3, just looking for drawing in for a second shot. Well, if this works back for him.
One shot, Stephen Allen.
Well, it's 1 on the card for him, but he really had the opportunity there for a spare for a 2. Rob Chisholm's now 8-2 up after 5 ends. Steve Allen's 6 behind with 4 ends to play. So in 4 ends he needs to try and conjure up 7 shots if he's to take this second tour card final into a tie-break.
Jack length 25.5 metres.
Well, again, Rob Chisholm with his first delivery, not giving Steve Allen a chance.
Seconds against, mate, or just 1, please?
2.
Very close again here. Rob Chisholm played very, very well tonight.
2 green.
Said he'd used his 2 get out of jail cards in his quarter-final and semi-final. He's not needed it here. He's used his let's put them close and put the pressure on card.
1 red.
Well, Steve, again, played a conversion, actually got a fortunate result out of it.
One shot, Stephen Allen.
Well, the ends are slipping away from Stephen Allen now. He's scored a 1. That means that Rob Chisholm's 8-3 up. The ends to play. 7th end, crucial end, as we always say in the 9-end sets.
Jack length 26 metres.
Oh, great opening ball from Steve Allen there. That's how he's played most of this weekend. Rob Chisholm's just been the master of him so far in this game. If he's going to take his chance and win this second set, needs to be counting a couple here. Well, Steve's holding a couple. Rob Chisholm looks down a very good track here. Again, it's all on his weight. Just underplayed it. Could this be the chance that Steve needed? All on his pace. Great track again from Steve Allen here. Not sure whether that stopped him for third. Rob Chisholm looks better here. There you go, look of determination on the face there. Second bowl, that's what
One
he
red.
wanted. Chance for Steve Allen still though. Took that bowl through, took the jack behind. Could possibly even get a 4 out of this if he tucked it perfectly. Well, Steve Allen, have you given this a chance? Well, that was one of those fortunate results.
3 red.
Holding 3, which would be ideal for Steve. Rob Chisholm, quite rightly coming to have a look at this. It's a very similar bowl to his last, really. Draw to that side bowl. Doesn't want to get it wrong though and give away a 4. Even with a 3 at this end. Steve's not out of the woods yet. And with a bowl to come from the Iceman at this end. The way he's playing this evening, he could even get shot out of this. Well, he's on a good track. Has he just underplayed it?
Three shots, Stephen Allen.
Well, 3 shots, so Stephen Allen certainly drags himself back into this second set. Situation now, Rob Chisholm is 8-6 up against Stephen Allen. 2 ends left to play. Steve Allen needs to score 3 in 2 ends. He's got to win this set. A tie is not good enough for him. So Robert Chisholm still in the comfortable position of being 2 up with 2 to play.
Jack length 25 metres.
Well, he'll be disappointed with that. Not the time to play what he would consider loose opener. It's not really loose in most people's terms, but this stage of the game where he has to win both ends really to give himself any sort of a chance. Wins both ends. He still needs a 2 and a 3, and here's a good reply from Rob Chisholm.
Two green.
Only reaction from the crowd there is, yep, yeah.
Last both for a shot.
Drawn in another shot there. All on his pace here. Great track. Great track, just overplayed
green.
it. Well, if the position stays as it is, Rob Chisholm picks up the second tour card this evening. He holds 2. It
3
would give
inches
him
past.
a 4-shot lead. And 4 and a tie is no good then to Steve Allen, as he's got to win this set. He's still got the chance with his last bowl though to just trail that jack to his back bowl. Counter 2. So it's not all over yet.
Three green.
Still the opportunity there for Steve. Slight adjustment on his last, can keep the weight, bring it in, touch the jack. Well, this to stay in this final. It looks under to me. Robert Chisholm takes the second tour card.
3 shots, second set, and the match to Robert Chisholm.
He takes his place in the WBT events for next season. Thank you very much for your company these last few days.
Once more, show your appreciation to both players.
Have a good summer and join us again for the next World Bowls Tour event, the Super Bowl in October. Follow us on Facebook, that'll keep you up to date. Thanks for your company this weekend.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was your second final for the Co-operative Funeral Care European Masters. And as I said before, in every match there has to be, unfortunately, a runner-up. So please welcome onto the green your runner-up this evening, who's come from Scotland. And I've just had a blank, so Stephen Allen. Come and stand by me, Steve. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, Co-operative Funeral Care European Masters Tour Card number 2 champion for today is Robert Chisholm. If I can just have you over here for a minute, Robert. I'll stand this way so you're both facing the camera. Well, cracking game, and I'll come across to yourself first. Saw it as a bit of a struggle. I thought in the first set you were doing all right, but this gentleman would not let you alone, you know, so commiserations, but hopefully you'll be back and you're not feeling too sore at him.
No, I'll be back. Robert played well. He totally deserved that win. When you're scratching about like what I was in that first set, it wasn't giving much room to get balls in. So all the best to Robert when in the WB2 events when they come.
Well, hopefully we'll see you trying again, Stephen.
Yeah, definitely. Yep.
Yeah. Robert, you said to me earlier that this one was the one you were really going for. It's what you wanted. You were just outside the top 16 and you wanted to get back into it. Well, you've done it. Perhaps you'd like to tell everybody how you feel.
I'm absolutely over the moon. Lost for words, to be honest with you. Yeah, I did touch on earlier that my first ball was just not good enough, and against the guy on my right-hand side, yeah, he's too good a player to just give him that room, you know, early doors in the end. So it was vital that I settled down early today and, you know, got my first 2 balls in the air, which was obviously massive.
Well, gentlemen, thank you very much. Congratulations, and to yourself, hope to see you again. Thank you very much. Well, ladies and gentlemen, just time for me to say a final thank you to Andrea Chalice and Stephen Jelly from the Co-operative Funeral Care for both of your organisation support. Without you, we couldn't have staged the last 3 days, so thank you very much. And ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for your support. Thank you for staying on to watch it. Those of you that are travelling home tonight, please take care and see you back here later on in the year when we bring our other events here. So thank you very much. God bless and good night.
Mike Davis trying to take me on the act as well.